You see that? This is one of the reasons why it's quite handy having two ride-on lawnmowers. Lord knows where it's picked this up, but gonna have to take the wheel off and see if I can get it repaired. Luckily I took the precaution when I had my Vitara written off earlier this year of taking the jacking kit out of it and keeping it, because this isn't the first time I've had a flat on this ride-on lawnmower. I think this is the third time now. And previously we didn't have anything like a jacking kit, so it was quite tricky getting the wheels off. So although I was very sad to see the back of Vitara 1.0, at least I had the foresight to harvest parts off of it, which have subsequently proven useful. So thank you, Vitara 1.0, gone but not forgotten. Well, I managed to get it off. It required basically brute strength and everyone's favourite lubricant, a ample spray of WD-40, because it's a bit rusted up. But very much like the front wheel, which I've had to have off a few times, it's a basic case of removing this dust cap, which is covering this C-ring, which in turn is on top of this washer, which is really what's keeping the wheel on the axle. So I have now freed it. Which means hopefully I can get it to a tyre place to get it repaired. Although chronologically, obviously I'm filming it in the right order, you're not quite watching it in the right order, so this is happening a couple of days before Christmas Day. By the time you watch this, Christmas will have come and gone. So I'm hoping that local places to us will be open at this time of year. I have got my secondary mower, but I prefer not to use it unless I really have to, because it basically, the blade slightly seems to clip part of the mower, or something happens anyway. Maybe it's not quite that, but it makes a terrible noise and it's actually quite unpleasant to use. So therefore I have it only in emergencies. But as you can see, if I can get this replaced before Christmas, I can come and mow just after Christmas when we're back at home. And hopefully the lawns, they're not looking too bad. One of the benefits of keeping on top of it, but hopefully they're not going to get a lot worse. So should be okay, but worst case scenario, I will have to crank up the other mower. So this is the situation that I am currently in. I'm pleased to have achieved that. I'm minded to leave this in just so that maybe, I don't know, maybe it's helpful to them. I shall keep you updated. Down at the Woodstore, because in this interregnum between Christmas and New Year, on my way home from the beach, I picked up the final 2 plants to complete the hedging. I will probably just do a quick rundown of all of the plants that I have got to complete this project. But the 2 most recent ones are this and this. I've just been measuring them out. Now all I have to do is plant them, and as with the others, protect them. But for those of you who are interested in its entirety, the hedge looks like this. So as you can see, every plant is different, but what unites them for this particular project is that they're evergreen. They have some sort of interest in terms of they flower, or they've got berries, or they have interesting coloured foliage. From a visual point of view, some of them are scented from a sensory point of view, and also some of them are attractive to bees, birds, butterflies, and other animals through either their flowers or in some cases the berries as well that the plant produces. You'll notice a variety of different shapes and sizes and different flower colours for those that flower, and also differing stages of development and health. Some of the more recent ones came via the post as opposed to being bought in a shop, and they're quite a lot smaller than the ones that came in the shop. And also one of them didn't arrive entirely healthily, but although it looks pretty bad at the moment, I have noticed it is sort of putting on new leaf buds. So I think it'll spring into shape. Most of these are pretty fast growing, which is what I want. I don't want to have to hang around. And most of them should grow to at least the height of the shed, so that eventually, fingers crossed, it'll be barely visible, if visible at all, but certainly definitely screened with plants which will provide us with quite a lot of additional interest to the garden. I just need to finish planting, and then this project is done, and I can move on to my next garden project, which, if I spin round, is hiding up there, is likely to be the grevillea garden, but that's for another time. The other piece of good news is that I was able to get the wheel repaired, or the tyre repaired, for my John Deere ride-on lawnmower. It was a little awkward to get off, if I'm honest, just because I don't think it had been removed for a while, which is a good thing, but it was sort of a bit hammery and bashy to get it off, which, having looked up YouTube videos, is the traditional method. So I am concerned about my ability to get it all back on again, but at least in theory, it should be possible. What goes off should be able to go back on again, and then I've got a lovely repaired tyre to enable me to mow the lawns in this Christmas, New Year's gap before I head back down from home to the seaside for New Year's festivities. Anyway, let me see what I can accomplish with this task. Well, there we have it. In theory, this wheel is now reattached to the lawnmower. I say in theory because I will reserve judgment until I've ridden on it for a bit, just in case it flies off. I don't want to count my chickens quite yet, but fingers crossed, it's looking very much like the other one, and all the bits went on. I even managed to get the dust cap on, which I inevitably can't do on the front wheels. So I'll keep you updated, but I'm very pleased with that. expedition because all of this lawn mowing means that not only am I spending a lot of time mowing, I'm also chewing through fuel. And we have come up to our local petrol station where, as you will have seen, we do things slightly differently. Anyway, so I've topped up my lawn mowing can, it's 20 litres, and I've topped up my car. So what you will have seen me do there is access the building with the key, turn the pumps on. Now I'm going to pay for it after I've turned the pumps off. So I have just done that. Now what I'm going to do is exit the building, lock it up, and pop the key back from where I found it. And that is one of the benefits of living in a small community where everyone knows everyone. If you know them well enough, you get to have access to basically a 24-hour petrol station whenever you want it, to fill up your car or whatever, whenever you need to. So I'm not sure there are too many places in the city where you'd be able to do that, and that's certainly not something that I'd ever encountered before. But there we go. That is how I top up my fuel can in my car whenever I need to, at a rural petrol station, also known as a roadhouse, without any assistance from members of staff. Is very strange to me, very, very casual, but I can't deny it is very handy. It's sort of like the equivalent of those pay at the pumps, but they're quite uncommon here. So this is our rural equivalent, and it works, but I do wish that I wasn't needing to top up my jerry can quite as much as I am. Roll on Husqvarna sending me a free battery-powered ride-on electric lawnmower. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, read the description box below. It's my disclaimer at the end of every video. Anyway, I shall crack on with my day.